Today's sponsor is Vibration. Vibration provides designer hydration packs designed to make you look cool, keep your stuff safe, and stay hydrated at music festivals and events. Their holographic designs add to your festival ensemble. Make sure you get your pack using promo code BB Media Industries LLC to save 10% on your new pack on Vibration.com. Oh, and one more thing. Free shipping on orders over $75. Hashtag life's a party. Stay hydrated. Hello and welcome to another rousing edition of Trending Topics with BB. I am your humble host, Brooke Brown, hence the BB. Well, first and foremost, let's get this housekeeping rules and regulations out of the way. Feel free to log on to the official website for this podcast at trendingtopicswithbbpodcast.com. There you will find links to every platform and every social media platform that this podcast has been posted. And if you're just one of those people that likes to Google things, if you Google this podcast, you'll pretty much find the same information. Along those lines, if you are an Apple Podcast or Stitcher subscriber, feel free to leave a favorable rating and comment. It helps this podcast be found by other listeners that are looking for new and exciting podcasts. And I want to thank every listener who has found this podcast, who is listening to this podcast, who is enjoying the content and conversations that this podcast offers. It is a little bit of a random podcast, but I appreciate you more than you will ever know. So thanks again for tuning into this podcast. And now on to what this new and exciting episode is entailing. It is my first panel podcast. I was able to sit down with Intricacy artists. There's this tour that going around in the trending trance scene out there that brought a few artists to Phoenix, and I was able to sit down with them prior to their gig and chat about trance family as a whole, how they got into trance music, and more topics related to trance, as you can tell. So without really ruining the awesome, candid conversation that occurred, feel free to enjoy this great conversation with them.
Okay. All right. So thanks again, you guys, for doing this, and I'm really excited that you guys came to Phoenix, bringing more trance here, because as you can tell, we have problems here. But that's neither here or there. So Carlos, welcome. Introduce yourself and kind of maybe start with kind of how you got into trance, and then we'll get over to Manuel in a minute. So
sure. So I'm Carlos Ortega. I came out here from Los Angeles, Orange County area. It's my first time playing in Phoenix. I'm really stoked about it. How I got into trance? Well, for me, I was listening to trance before I even knew to even call it trance.
That was the same with me.
Yeah, this was just genres. Like me in high school, and then like one of my friends shows me, and I still remember like this is what actually got me into trance and into DJing as well. Was Tiesto's Power Mix video. That still was that's literally what started my interest in DJing as well as for trance before I even knew what to even call it. And then what actually solidified it, it's me just sticking straight to trance throughout, was John O'Callahan's ASOP 550 set in LA. That was just the one that's, okay, I'm sticking this to the neck out. So out of 10 years of DJing, the last, was it 6, 7 or so, that's kind of what made me go this path directly.
Awesome. And then welcome, Manuel. Introduce yourself, and people will recognize that you have an accent, so kind of your journey here.
Okay, hello. I'm Manuel from Italy.
Awesome.
And came here for the Extrema Maxima tour. Extrema Maxima is my new compilation out on Extrema Group Music, my label.
Awesome.
And we started being a DJs in the very, very far away 1989. So a long time ago. But I turned into...
Not to date myself.
Yeah, trance. Well, wasn't even born. But,
yeah.
So I started with, dance music and this kind of music, but I was always addicted to melodic music. So in probably 1994, I started playing only exclusively trance.
Awesome.
And I was a DJ in Italy, especially in Rome, where I live. And I started as a warm-up DJ only. I was a warm-up DJ for 2-3 years in the biggest club in Rome. And then I changed my name, artist name, because Manuel is of course not my real name. Because everybody asks me, "Oh, you're French?" No, it's not. It's why? Let's say a long story. Tell me about it. No, it's a really long story. But no, even if the name sounds French, I'm not French, 100% Italian. Then, as I was telling him earlier, my international career completely changed and did grow up when Tiesto played my tracks for almost 2 years, and people started knowing a little bit my name, and now we are here, celebrating Extrema Maxima here in Phoenix.
Awesome.
My first time.
So this goes for both of you. So whoever wants to chime in, you both mentioned, we've all mentioned that we kind of got into dance music before it was like known by subgenres. What do you think? Like being from, I'm gonna ask you this: being from Italy and the European like origin of dance music and how it's still relatively young in the US if you really think about it. What are your thoughts on how it was viewed as underground here, but it was what it was and what it still is today in Italy or in Europe or wherever?
Well, at my time, I'm old, huh? But at my time there were no more, kind of music. It was like disco music or techno music.
Right.
There's no more. There now is a big tree. Like we have trance, progressive trance, deep trance, vocal trance, uplifting trance. There's so many.
Trance, yeah.
Yeah, so many. At that time was just like this on this, black or white, no matter what. And it was completely different. Now, trance in Italy is not underground. There's no trance in Italy. Even if a lot of people trying to grow up a little, trans family, but it's really hard because the new generation of dancers and they turn on MTV. What they say? Okay, trap, it's good. Dubstep, it's good. So they all go there. There is no education about music in Italy. People listen only what radio broadcasts or television broadcasts. They don't. If I come to a 16, 17 or 18 years old and say, hey, do you like trance? It's like, what? It's like this in Italy. Trance worldwide is very famous. But if you pick up every single state, every single country, not as famous. Besides Holland, so basically trance was born there.
Yeah.
And now the trend of the moment is Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. Now they have a big boom over there, like Argentina and Mexico. They had a big boom 5 years ago.
Right. So along those lines, now Carlos, what do you think about the evolution of where we are now?
As far as where we are now in the U.S., definitely it's gotten bigger. The Dream State movement has definitely helped out a lot of other artists. Not just bring international artists out here, but also bring in like our own homegrown artists, get their shine as well. Because before we would only have so very few events, and there's only so many spots on a bill, and it's like, who are you gonna bring? Because definitely you want to bring out the international big names to bring out here that people want to see, but also you have to think about it's from a homegrown standpoint. It's we have our artists as well. So now this is actually giving us our opportunity to prove ourselves, not necessarily taking away the shine, but saying it's hey, we're here as well. This isn't just. What I really do like about it is that it's bringing everyone into the conversation. It's bringing all the overseas artists. It's bringing light into our own local artists. I've seen a lot of guys that over the last couple of years or so being more recognized, and it's nice to see that hey, we got talent on our own soil as well. And it's really see some of these guys I have supported over the years, and see new ones bring light to them. It's I've never known this person before, but now because of this whole thing that's bringing exposure to them, I'm able to discover it and say holy crap, this guy's fucking dope too.
Awesome. So I did notice because I was listening to your set from Dream State earlier today to get me in the mood again, fantastic.
Thank you.
But the fact that you're, we hear about the names, the well-known names in trance, the Paul Oakenfolds or Paul Van Dyke, Marcus Ferry, which I love. But I love the fact that Dream State is opening people to bringing in yourself to it. And we have some guys here that I know, and I know Nico. I met him at EDC last year and saw his set, and I'm about that diversity as well, and bridging the gap. So we kind of talk about the difference in brands with Dream State and then how it's viewed against a state of trance. With these events and the ability, do you guys believe that in that whole comeback thing? Because personally, as a fan, I've never stopped listening to trance ever since I found it 15, 20 years ago. But this whole, trance is making a comeback, I want to get on the trance train, I want to release under a new alias, i.e. Purple Haze or W&W's alias. So
what is the alias? NWYR?
Yeah. What do you guys think as that, like, going forward? Is that a good thing that they're people are like, discovering trance or didn't know they like trance now? Or is it a divide for all of us that, from the beginning?
I mean, people will make up their own divisions regardless of what anything is. It's just always been a thing regardless of genre or category. But I do feel that with Dream State and ASOT, if it does bring in... If it's exposing the sound to newer people, I see that as just like a huge benefit. It's like you'll have someone that...
Casey, Jesus Christ.
Bro. I had one hiccup. Hey, You're not being an asshole, I had a hiccup. Not being an asshole, I had a hiccup, goddamn.
No, but honestly, like the exposure, like what ASOT has a massive reach, and Dream State is like definitely like driving like the movement in the United States as well as now expanding worldwide. To me, it's just really inviting more people to the conversation.
Awesome. Now, with that, Casey, introduce yourself because you're being recorded.
Fair enough.
So, this is a panel podcast now.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's all good. That's why I love podcasting. So, introduce yourself and start with how you got into trance.
Shoot. I played computer games a lot and listened to like DIFM trance channel, vocal trance and all that because we were playing for mad hours. Gotta have like that upstreaming, more up-tempo music playing, and that's how I got into trance.
And were you aware of trance prior to that kind of exposure?
I was just like a computer gamer growing up and would play some music on. The main switch over was when my cousin came over to tutor me in chemistry. I think I was 15 or 16. He's 3 years older than I am. And like he walked in my room and I had it on like low and he goes, "What do you know? Like, what the hell do you know about this?" I was like, I don't know. I just put it on when I play games. Why? He goes, "I am this." I'm like, "What do you mean you are this?" He goes, I'm taking you to a rave like within like a couple weeks," and then it just
went from there.
Took off.
I've noticed that just kind of bringing you guys are all talking about video games. We actually have Trance Family here that owns a gaming lounge, and all they do is they stream trance all day. And all of their patrons come in and go, "Oh, this is great, this is great." So do you think there is a connection between gaming and trance?
Personally, I kind of do, yes. Kind of, yes. But for me, yes, I would say 110% yes. But I can't speak for everybody else, but I would say that there is a connection because you walk into like if you go to like a any sort of like computer gaming place or whatever, they always have something more up tempo playing. Whether if it's trance, house, techno, hardstyle, they always have the more like upper pace music playing, which kind of, at least for me, there's a direct correlation there. So I would say yes. You
guys agree?
Oh, I love video games, so I should say yes.
I definitely agree.
Yeah, I definitely say yes.
Well, it's funny. You guys might meet him later tonight. My boyfriend's also, we met through the trans love, and he's also a former gamer, and he's actually getting ready to go to E3 this week.
Me too.
So, but yeah, he's talked about how the reason he got into trans was because of the inspiration in doing games, and he's an engineer, so it's kind of come hand in hand. So it's just kind of a full circle. It just kind of popped in mind to ask you guys, because it seems to be you're not the only ones out there that have that connection between gaming and trans. But aside, whatever. But to kind of get you up to speed, Casey, I asked them kind of what their thoughts were on Dream State and ASOT and how that's the movement that we're seeing right now. What are your thoughts?
ASOT's always been a movement in my eyes. I don't know about Dream State. It's great. It's killing in the U.S. and everything. It's the best. But for me, ASOT's like always has been there. 2006 and whatnot, we would download, ASOT 2006, 2007. Of course, we're on like ASOT 2017 or 18 now. But ASOT's always been there, 100%.
And do you think, well, to kind of, a lot of people have this preconceived notion of what trans is based on how they got in, but do you think such people like Tiesto and certain people that have kind of made it known that they don't like trans anymore kind of is a good thing, at least it kind of separates it, or do you think that there's kind of this overall lingering thing? Because Armin's kind of getting that way as well, to be honest. Let's all be honest, yeah.
I would say I don't think Tiesto dislikes trans. I would say that he saw an opportunity, he took it, and wants to make a lot of money. And I don't frown upon that whatsoever. I think that's completely fine. I think Armin's a different way, where he's still playing that, what's the phrase, gray area. Armin does what he has to do. He has, like a big psy-trance, uplifting trance, then he has this normal progressive big room track or whatever. But Armin, has that fine line where he goes here to the far left and then goes to the far right and then kind of balances out in a way. Because even at the end of his sets, every ASOT, the last 30 minutes to 40 minutes, he's banging it out kind of for the most part. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to call him a president. Is he a president? I don't know. He's the one that kind of guides it and is you know what? This is trance as a whole spectrum, because it's such a big genre now, where you can throw big room in there, you can throw trance, psy-trance, whatever the genre is in your eyes, and he kind of just balances it all out and makes it happen. He hasn't full-born jumped ship yet, where Tiesto was I have this opportunity, I'm done with trance. I don't think he's ever said he hated trance. I could be wrong. But Tiesto is more so just I'm going to go this way. I'm going to try to make as much money as I can, which is a great thing. I can't hate on the guy for that.
True. But most people, when they think of trance, they think of Adagio for strings. Let's just be real. As one of the first tracks.
Traffic, all that.
Other than, Robert Miles' Children or motorcycle tracks, a lot of people listen to that. So it's just interesting. The reason I brought it up is because I did hear an interview with Ferry Corson when he brought back Goriella the last couple of years. And they asked him, do you think Tiesto would ever produce with you again? And Ferry Corson straight up said, no, he told me he hated trance. That's enough of that. Next question. So that's kind of why I asked that question, because even Ferry's just kind of Tiesto's left trance. Stop asking me about it.
I still don't think he hates it, though.
I don't think he hates
it. I just think he saw a big opportunity and took the opportunity to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, it's a business.
Because if you're playing trance in Vegas, it's not gonna pan out. He is Vegas now. It's almost to the point where a normal human being could go to Vegas, and it's almost like Vegas Tiesto's to that point almost where it's almost. I'm not gonna say Vegas Tiesto, but it's almost to that point, because you're walking down the street, you look it up at MGM, one of the biggest hotel casinos ever, and his face is just plastered up there.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's I personally don't think he hates it. I think he more so just saw a better business opportunity.
Yeah, it's all about business. You can't hate something that gave you so much.
It's possible. Tiesto's going.
That made his whole life. That made his whole.
He's going back to trance when he's older.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
I don't think he ever will. I don't think he ever will. I think if you put like a million cash in front of him, I don't think he'll go back.
Well, because he's making $1 million cash.
And he doesn't need that. But I just think it's more so like just the aspect of he saw an opportunity, he striked on it, and he did it. I mean, Oakenfold was kind of already doing that in Vegas with his.
But he had a residency.
Perfecto nights and all that kind of stuff.
I've been there.
And I think
I've seen BT in Vegas, but this was years ago. So
I think Tiesto saw what Oakenfold was doing and said this could potentially lead to something like massive. And now the guy doesn't even have to really travel that much anymore. He plays like 4 times in 7 days, 2 times, 3 times, whatever it is, and he doesn't have to go anywhere. And he's big in U.S. pop culture. Well, like you hear his tracks on Kiss FM. And all that kind of stuff.
You see it on Coke commercials too.
He's collabing with pop-ish artist. I'm not throwing up quotes, but like collabing. It's just interesting what he's done, and I can't even like as much passion and love. And the only music I like in life is trance. The fact of what he did and how he did it, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah, I guess it's just I understand the business side of it, but at the end of the day, was that really your goal, or is it the music? That's kind of where I'm getting at. At what point is too much money?
I think when he took the right-hand turn and said, I'm done with trance, I think that was the point where he said, I don't care about music, but money supersedes what I'm going to do with business too. And I think the opportunity he saw, he took it and just ran with it.
I get that, but what I'm saying is to me, the reason I ask these questions is we've talked about it a little bit in kind of post the podcast, but despite the popularity of trance that we've already discussed, there's still a struggle for the unity that everybody claims we have as a trans family worldwide.
How would you define unity trans family worldwide?
See, the reason I'm very passionate and love the trans family is because for 7 years straight, I was actually following a pop group many years ago and dealt with some serious crap that I don't ever want to talk to these people again because they were like the worst people on the planet. But I stepped foot on EDC in 2015, and just the fact that people are human and you're there for the music, you're not there to be seen, and you're not there to get recognized all the time and be validated. It's a little bit different in the trance scene as opposed to even when I've been at EDC and gone to Circuit Grounds or the main stage, and then I was going back to Quantum Valley last year because I was like, it's a totally, everybody's there for the music and to actually help each other and have a good time. It's not about, I was seeing that, I want to brag about who I saw.
I 100% agree with you there. Being that trance fans are the most passionate fans, probably, I would think, out of all the genres.
I don't know, there's no other genre. You don't see dubstep family, you don't see trap family, you don't see progressive house family.
That's what I'm saying, because we have a thing here called AZ Rave Family, and then there's Phoenix Trans Family. And it's funny because it's not that I don't like the AZ Rave Family. I'm not about judging people on it. Music's subjective, so you like whatever you want to like. But I just don't. The difference between in the trans family is that I just feel like people come from a more pure, passionate, I'm here for the music, let's, be united because we love this music, as opposed to, I'm in the rave fam, I just want to be popular. And not to throw shade, but that's really how I view it.
I would agree with that to an extent on the fact that, like, on the surface, it's great you have trans family, but then once you go past that to, like, being a DJ, producer, promoter, whatever it is, it's very click-driven. So you have this trans family, like, on the surface, and then after that, with all the fans and, all that kind of stuff and passion and love, but then once it goes to this next level, past the trans family, it's very almost not trans family when it comes to the actual trans scene, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, I've heard that as well. So, I mean, feel free to chime in, anybody, but what are your thoughts?
No, you definitely got that. I do feel the same way. It's like on the surface you do see trans family, but you dig a little deeper, it's very cliquey. Everyone's like sectioned off. You'll see people who are like strictly like side trans show. You'll go strictly to these certain label shows, and now even so, what I've been seeing is you go to you're supporting these people who are strictly on a certain agency, which is I think is the most like stupidest thing that's coming up. It has never been about an agency like on the audience side of things. Labels and stuff I can understand. That's perfectly fine. They push out a certain sound. It's like, and it chimes well with them. But it's never been as like who is getting your bookings. That is beyond stupid.
It's almost become this little like, I don't know how to word it, but this like you're talking about like trans people don't care about being famous and they don't care about this and that and all that kind of stuff. Different from Quantum Valley to the circuit grounds to the main stage, Kinetic Valley, whatever it is. So when you get into it, it's very much almost like that. When you really look into it, it's almost very like, yeah, this is me. I do this and that. And that's almost what it's become in the trance scene, especially like in the last year or two. 3 years, 2 years? It's become much more very driven, which I guess that's anything. If like an economy builds, being like a trance economy, say it builds up a little bit, these random little cliques and egos start being built, and it's pretty interesting.
So, my next question is, what are your thoughts about the whole, I'm a trans elitist, and then I'm a trans purist, and I just want to say I just love trans, but why is there, speaking of divides coming from everybody's, I mean, you can chime in as well, like, why is there, like, let me just preface, personally, I'm not a side trans fan, but I'm not going to hate on you for liking side trans. You can go to your side trans stage, or you can go to your raves, or you can do whatever you want. But why is there seems to be, oh, you like Jock, or you like, this label, that, and they like, people are starting to like have that kind of negative connotation on it, and it's just kind of like, why is there need to be that divide? We're here for trans fundamentally. You know what I mean?
Anyone?
Alright, I'll follow on this grenade.
I think it's just natural. Carlos, go for it. I'll follow up.
I do feel like a lot of the common thing is it's like, oh, I've been listening to trance since I was a fucking semen cell, whatever the fuck. No, it's like, okay, however long you've been doing something does not correlate to how much you know or can be great at something. There is no fucking correlation with that. Sure, you might have spent more time doing it, but come on, we've seen people blow up with like people who have been producing for less than 4 years and they're already like playing like all the EC, Tomorrowland, whatever the fuck. Your time spent of how much you know something doesn't necessarily mean that you know it all. That's one of like the main arguments I ever see online, and it's fucking stupid. At the same time, you're also like putting off people who are barely like discovering the sound and trying to get into it, and you're saying like, oh, you can't like this because I've known this longer than you, and what you know, you don't know shit. Well, fuck, they're just barely getting into the sound. It's like, instead of being condescending, educate. That's the main problem. It's like I see a lot of people just talking down to people, but no one's educating anyone. It's like, oh, you like this sound? It's like, so this is kind of like what I like. You don't have to put anyone down. Just fucking educate. That's like the biggest thing I see. It's what puts off a lot of people from getting into the sound. It's just like, why am I going to keep listening to this if it's filled with like fucking dickheads? Like
all these like elitists that are like, oh,
all the people who are claiming it's like, no, it's all from the very beginning are pretty much like killing off the genre within it.
I think the elitist comes from just like competition of just growing up. You have your sports team. Your sports team's tech trans. His sports team's on Juna Beats. They're gonna clash heads.
You wanna fight about
shit to each other. But it's like one of those things where I don't know.
Well, coming from a label owner yourself and all that, what are your thoughts on like people saying, I don't know, whatever they say and all the crap that we're talking about?
I don't know. It's a complicated
subject.
It's complicated. Because I can't be really, honest about that because there is too much to say about it. The big problem in trance scene at the moment is just like this, the hater. You know, a real trans family. There is a big difference between a supporter of something and a trans family. Trans family is supposed to support everything, no matter what. Every DJs, then you have your taste. Who you like more, who you like less, and whatever. But trans, if you support trans, you support the music at the first place. But then, when you starting supporting so only one thing, it's no more trans family for me. It's something else. So it's complicated.
I don't agree with that too. Like to me, like I've never even used the expression like trans family, but like if I ever had to, I would say like homeboy sleeping over here on the couch is like that's my trans family. I would never ever say even trans family, but I take it in a different tense opposed to this whole big umbrella of the fact that like that's my boy. I know him. To me, like that's my trans family. But it's outside of that. It's like,
Really? Yeah, I'm tired. Honestly.
snoring.
Yeah.
You drink 3 drinks.
For example, tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's my first time in Phoenix. I don't know how the trans scene is over here, but a real trans fan should go to a party, no matter what. No matter who plays, even Mr. Peppa Pig will play there, and he plays trans. If I am a real supporter, I go and I support the party. I support the promoter for all the energy is spent for creating a party, which is not easy nowadays. But when you see a party that people don't come just because one. It's I don't. No, it's too much.
Go for it.
Like it.
No, not to be an asshole.
Let it flow.
No.
Not to be an asshole.
Not to be an asshole.
Let it flow.
Come on, Manny, get real.
Let it flow, Manny.
No, I can't.
Not to be an asshole.
Well, but to go on your reason, that's why I'm here talking to you guys, and I've been trying to get the trans family excited for tonight.
Okay, I tell you, this is the situation right now on trans scene. It's a big clash of clans. That's it. That's a big problem.
That's the biggest truth ever. And that's what I was saying earlier.
It's a big
when
problem.
You said trans family's big lovey-dovey thing. On the surface, yes, but once you go past the fan aspect of it, it's what he just said on Clash of the Titans.
So, along those lines, then how can we fix this?
How?
There's nothing.
First of all, people
Give everyone all the money
should come back on Earth. Because people think they are gods. They are not.
True story.
So, get the fuck down, everything, and be a real family. Not, I'm better than you, or, hey man, you are not better than me. And all these fights.
Because you brought up another thing that has been bothering me is because I know people were pissed, specifically at Dream State and EDC, with the lineup at Quantum Valley because there was a lot of Ajuna Beats artists. I like Ajuna Beats, but I like Cold Harbor. I like Flashover. I like Extrema.
Okay.
I like it. So why? But the major criticism I saw was, well, they're not trans, they're house, so don't go support them. And it's like, they're the close, like, who are you to judge the genre based on who's booked?
You know that, actually, I think I told you, I think I told you. Actually, techno is doing better trance than actually trance.
Thank you.
Do you know that?
Yes.
You know that?
100%. No.
You know that?
Yeah.
I will literally download like a drum code track and be like, holy shit, it's pretty trancy in my opinion. It's
look,
techno.
let's take away a track name. It's like, let's strip away the artist name. Let's strip away the track name. Let's strip away where the label came from. You just listen to it as just
what the music is.
What the file is.
It sounds more trancey than
honestly, if you did have any of those like fucking labels on it, could you actually fucking know?
It's like, what was the big Eric Prides, whatever the fuck his name is?
Eric Priest is doing
amazing.
No,
he's a dynasty in himself.
He's great. He's like next level. But what was his big track?
Which one?
The big trance track. It was trance, but not trance.
The one that he collaborated with Deadmau5 with?
No.
Oh wait,
it was just
Generate, the one that
Generate was one of my favorites.
No. This is recent, within the last year.
Oh, Stay With Me.
Yeah.
That Stay With Me. I love that track.
To me, I heard that track and I was like, fuck, that's more trance than I've ever heard in like the legitimate sense of. When I was in the 90s, I was an infant. I was a kid, so I don't really know about the 90s or anything. But to me, when I hear that track, it makes me think back to that time on how that music was made. And
you know why?
He can probably get that more than me, but
there are two kind of track: the radiophonic one and the club one. Eric Priest makes their tracks exclusively for club. When Stay With Me in club is mind blowing. It's all like,
it's huge.
Jesus Christ, man! If you listen into radio while you drive, you say, "Oh, come on, this is boring." Because it's not radiophonic.
I don't think it is, but
no, I'm talking about normal people, not just trance fan or music
so
fan.
the mainstream.
Yeah. So a lot of producers nowadays they make very huge radiophonic track, but in club the track doesn't work at all. Bad master, bad arrangement, whatever. But this is a fact.
That's true.
Well, then my question along those lines, because my boyfriend will attest to this. His opinion is that trance was not made for clubs. It was made for other genres. It was made for outdoor venues. It's made for does everybody kind of like what like a Woodstock used to be without the craziness of a Woodstock kind of a feel, or the craziness of an underground rave. Like, that's what it's made for, but it's not made for the Main Street club scene. Do you agree?
Trance is, how to say that? It's not for huge festival, probably. Because, 2-3 minutes breakdown is way too much. People want to go there for...
It's tough. It's too much of this.
They want to jump. They want to dance. They want to. That's why psytrance is growing. Something like so fast
because it's appealing to the hard style, the drum and bass people, anybody else that's not into trance.
They want to have fun. They want to. Okay. The melody is amazing.
Exactly. They're not music
whatever.
fans.
I'm flying. I'm whatever.
That's the one thing in itself. Is something that I feel. I do admire the passion of transfers, but sometimes I feel like the genre is taken like too seriously by the listeners. So I was like, "Oh my god, it's really fucking uplifted me to the heavens." I'm like, dude, and like when I'm playing set, I play a really like banging techie straight out, and just like, dude, I'm just here to like fucking like bang out fucking tracks that I love and like get you guys fucked up. Like at the end of the day, dude, it's a fucking party, man. Have some fucking fun. Don't take it so fucking serious.
Well,
don't read into the melody so much. I'm like, dude, just have some fucking fun. Don't think too hard. Enjoy your drink. Let's have some fun.
Right, I agree. But is it also I mean, it's funny because my actual family think I'm crazy that I'm into trance music. But
tell me about it.
Because they have that preconceived notion of what EDM is, and you're just a druggie or all that kind of crap. And I go, I've never taken one drug other than I drink alcohol. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm not into that. That's just me personally. But if you want to do you do you. But my point with the reason I'm bringing it up is it because there's now so much where everybody enjoys music. I mean, it's subjective. So why is there so much judgment based on how people enjoy something?
I don't think it's judgment. I think people laugh, but it takes me back to my sports comparison. I think people just get really passionate and happy about whatever particular sound they're into, and they love it so much they want to defend it. And that defending is, I'm gonna fucking talk shit on the Judah Beats. I'm gonna laugh at this label, that, this and that. I think it's just like a normal, like, just kind of like just competition and not like I don't like to say hatred. I think it just comes to like a competitive thing where everyone looks at each other like, I like this sound, and I want to diss you for liking that sound, and it's not right. But at the same time, I think they're just that passionate about whatever sound they're into that they're gonna make fun of this and that. Personally, me, I don't know.
You guys agree?
To an extent, yes. I do feel like if you are really, I say, emotionally invested into a certain thing, and you'll probably hear someone like talk about it, and I'm just gonna like, wait, what the fuck are you saying? You listen to this shit? Oh no, that stuff's bullshit. And that's kind of like starts the whole argument going back and forth, and then throwing even more labels or this sound or this artist into it, and you just have like this whole bunch of infighting, and it's kind of like not even really warranted in it. It's like at the end of the day, you're gonna listen to what you like. I'm gonna listen to what I like. I've never seen one fucking argument ever like on the internet where it's like at the end of it, it's like, oh fuck, you convinced me of this, and like, no, it's like, no,
It's
you're just a dick. No, it's like, you like this shitty label, no, you're a dick, you're an asshole, like, what'd you call me in? It's like, well, you started this whole argument, now we're bringing a whole bunch of other shit into it, and it's just a whole clusterfuck of we're getting nowhere and just pissing each other off.
So,
welcome to Facebook.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah, so, in that case, why don't people let the music speak for itself? Why is it because just we're a whole world society that is addicted to the internet and addicted to a persona that we put out as opposed to being real?
I think it's just passion. Someone likes. I could talk from like I was a fan before I started doing music and DJing and stuff like that. I was a fan, and I would get upset. To me, like I was like, I like banging tech trance, and if an artist stopped making it for more so, I don't know what you want to call it, progressive trance, big room trance, whatever it is, I would kind of be like, well, fuck this guy, in my honest opinion.
Not to be an asshole.
But yeah, not to be an asshole. Not to be an asshole, hashtag. But no, like in all seriousness, it was like one of those things where it's like, damn, I followed you for this long. You guys were killing it. Now all of a sudden you're going to take a strong left-hand turn. I 100%, it's just passion and love. You love a sound so much, it gets to a point where you hear another sound and you might vent towards it. I mean, I'm not going to look down on anybody. Like, I was never that bad to the point where I'm like, oh, well, fuck you, Carlos likes Intricacy beats. No, not like that. Like, I'll talk shit to him and I'll laugh at him. But at the same time, I'm not going to be like, oh, no, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Just based on facts, like, this is what has happened. And I love this sound so much that, again, it goes down to passion. Trance fans are, like, the most passionate people, in my opinion, almost in the world when it comes to music. Almost too passionate to the point where it's like, if you don't like my uplifting trance or my tech trance or my side trance, fuck you. I'm gonna make fun of your progressive trance, whether if it's Injuna Beats, Marlowe, this guy, that guy, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's not my trance, but I love trance, but that's not my trance. I think it's just.
And then all of a sudden, like, if that's not my trance, that is not trance.
I don't
even if okay, generally speaking, it is trance. It's just not my trance, and you just go on this whole thing that's like, you don't know what the fuck trance is. Coming from someone who doesn't produce DJ or anything, it's like you have
exactly.
It's like, so what the fuck do you know about trance if you don't make it, play it, anything? So all of a sudden you dictate what it is when you have nothing that goes into it.
And that's what comes to, like, honestly, trance fans are the most passionate. I still say it, passionate fans. I won't, maybe not in all of music, at least in electronic music, the most passionate fans, but. Sometimes we're a little too passionate to the point that we want to talk shit and make an issue out of something that we shouldn't be making an issue out of. It's just love for whatever sound that you like, and for whatever reason you like it so much you want to talk shit on everything else. Don't know why.
You agree, Manny?
Nope.
No. Yeah, I do, but you know, it's a very long story.
It can go on for hours and hours. It's literally.
We can talk about this until
it's a genuine like in a Rubik's cube. Like, trance is honestly like in a Rubik's cube. Like, maybe you can solve it. I don't know if you're that like genius person, but it's that constant just like there's all these passionate fans, and for some reason in trance, because there's so many different umbrellas, they're so passionate on what they love. For whatever reason, we like to talk shit on what we don't like at the same time. It's weird, to be honest, but it is what it is.
Well, coming from me, so I guess you guys don't really know my background, but I've loved music my whole life, loved many different genres, and I was that person many years ago that couldn't figure out why somebody liked somebody that I couldn't stand in music, and then one day I hit the light bulb, going, it's art, it's subjective. Why am I telling somebody what they can and cannot like based on what I don't like?
It takes maturity for sure, 100%.
So, from experience, I've been that person. I'm not saying I'm perfect by all means. It's interesting coming from a different world to loving the music that I originally kind of sparked me when I was such a young age. And it's just a different feel than what I've felt at pop concerts, at rock concerts, at different genres. But it's interesting that on the other hand, I'm frustrated. People have probably heard me say about what's going on here in Phoenix and why I think it's stupid that there's such a struggle because people don't want to give. It's like they don't want to give trance a chance here. Like coming from Italy and LA, we're envious of you guys.
It's tough, but
yeah, you know what I mean. So
of Italy, don't.
Well, Europe in general. Europe in general is really where I'm coming from.
But no, lately Europe is not that good.
But it's still, I guess that's kind of where I'm coming from, and kind of why, like, we were kind of hinting at it, and I'm not trying to throw shade on other fans or whatever, but you kind of, we've kind of hinted on, like, under the surface, the politics and the bullshit that goes on, and I've heard some. I probably don't know as much as you guys, but at the end of the day, the reason why I do what I do and why I'm here talking to you guys is because it's about the music and it's about you guys and your perspective. It's not about what people think about. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But because you're poor, but politics and trends, at the moment, there's not much difference.
Right.
Even regardless of trans genre or whatever, politics and everything is, well, it's business as well.
Is that why?
You know when really everything screw up? When some smart guy decided to introduce the word ambassador. That means nothing. But the only thing they have to do is put this shit on other music. Or other group. Or other trans family. Or whatever. Or not.
No, 100% agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Ambassador.
Well, that's why it's funny because there was Dream State was doing that ambassador program the last year. They haven't been.
So are we headed to the fucking United Nations of Trans? I mean, come on, luminosity has proved one of the point. At the end of the day, does not fucking matter where you come from. We all came here for the same sound.
Yeah, luminosity is one of
that's my bucket list.
One of the very few places where there's love there.
Yes, I definitely agree.
I can tell you.
It's different.
Dude,
for me, that's
definitely for me. I'm only saying this coming from my experience, only going last year. This might be like the most like hippie sounding shit that comes out of my mouth, but that was like the first time I ever felt like genuine love being in the crowd. Just like, I mean, we all knew we all came from like 60, 70 different countries, but at the same time, it was the same sound that drove us here.
A few years ago was even better.
I can only imagine.
I have to tell you that. You know, in the last 2-3 years, I played from the very first Luminosity 10 years ago, so I know the evolution of Luminosity.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
In the last 2-3 years, it really became something huge. Mm-hmm. People from Australia, from the States.
It's become this mecca. You have to make the privilege, the journey out there.
Yeah, the beginning was really a really intimate party.
On the
beach.
Yeah.
On the beach, with the sun, when we were lucky.
Yeah.
I know something. But now it's very big, but it's one of the very, I see everywhere, the love for that festival is amazing. The people that wait 1 year just to be there with all the people beside the music. This is good. This is fucking good.
Why can't that happen throughout then? What is our issue then? What is the divide?
Because
Luminosity is a category in its own.
Oh, what?
Luminosity is like in a category of its own. That's
you know why? Because Bo, the owner, he makes the rules. There's no agency that makes the rules. Luminosity, and that's the big problem everywhere else.
So, because I mean, was it 250 artists this year on the lineup, something like that?
What?
At Luminosity, is it like 250 or some crazy number?
Yeah, whatever, maybe like 150
or whatever.
Yeah.
But like the fact that it spans all different within the genre. I mean, I would be proud of that. I mean, obviously I can't make it. I'm sad, but like, you know, it's kind of why has it become like control, like a puppet kind of thing, you know what I mean? In the trance, why is it like so? It can either be really easy for people or it can be really hard.
Who's the puppet master in Pinocchio? Geppetto?
I think so. I haven't watched that in years.
In America, it's very Geppetto driven. I can't speak for Europe because I'm not that experienced there, but just looking from the outside in, as a fan, it looks like it's. Of course, you have that there, but there's some events in Europe where it's just like, you're gonna play, you're gonna play, you're gonna play. I don't give a fuck this and that. It looks like America is more so looking for what kind of deal can I get. So because I can get this kind of deal with fuck, I want to say names so bad. With this person, and this person, I could package them all in, and then we're gonna go play a club show, maybe like 6 months later, or 5 months later, for the same promoter. I think that's where America. I think it's not even so much saving money. I think it's laziness and not to be an asshole. I think it's on ignorance. I don't think they fully understand everything. I think they understand everything, but I don't think they fully know everything going on in the trance scene, and they just look for whatever the quickest, easiest buck that makes sense for them, and they can throw all these artists on the same lineup.
At the end of the day, it's always business.
Mm-hmm. It's business driven as fuck, and we're in America, which is the biggest business driven country in the world. I don't care what anyone says, and it's very like, what makes sense to me? If I could book this person and then get him and him, then why don't I save money and just keep booking off these same few agencies? It's almost
the same name.
It's
the same name. Just call it a different night.
It's basically
this is like no fault on the artist. I'm not putting any blame, but it's just you literally see the exact same people who just call it like a different brand night. Literally the exact same fucking names. Just call it. Yeah. Anything. It's like I'm not putting
and ignorance on the promoters, and I'm not hating on the promoters, but I think it's laziness, ignorance, and a cheap buck to.
Not laziness. The easy way to win.
Well, yeah, that's kind of
something like
an easy way to win.
But try to think as a promoter. You want to lose money or you want to earn money.
Makes sense, but at the same time, they're just taking an easy route to just do boom, boom, boom.
And that's kind of what I'm saying that's happened. Why I'm frustrated here, because we have. I shouldn't say the names. I probably have said it on the podcast many times, but. We have two promoters here. We have a promoter that owns the venues in Scottsdale in the entertainment district where everybody just parties anyway. And that's where Marcus and Ferry's been.
So people come out to this spot like regularly.
Yeah, and so
regardless.
We, as trans family, have been having issues at this venue during those nights because there's us, and then there's just the people that are partying. They don't even know who's there. And it becomes... I've seen, like, for instance, I don't know these people, but about a month or two ago, Paul Van Dyke was here. We were all there. And Paul Van Dyke, by the time he goes on, these people that just had walked in, you could tell they had no clue where they were, started an all-out fight.
Oh.
And Paul, it's a small club. You guys haven't been there yet, but it's very small. And you can, from the DJ booth, you can see everything. And I saw Paul... look and just shake his head, go like, what? And that's the frustration I have coming is that why would people want to come here when that type of behavior happens? You know what I mean? So that there's that, and then we've talked to the other promoter that does all the festivals here, and he's like, well, trance doesn't sell, so I don't want to book it, which is why it was weird that they booked Cosmic Gate. And when I went yesterday, because it was like they stopped for the last year and a half booking any trance at the pool parties.
Can you stop recording?
Mm-hmm.
Are Cosmic Gate trance? Since when? Okay. Okay. How was it? You been there?
Yeah, I like them.
I thought we just did like Back to the Future. Like I thought we were in 1999 right now.
Yeah, they used to make fantastic.
You haven't heard their new album, Materia?
Some tracks are good.
Yeah, so I mean I like them, but
I wouldn't call them trance, to be honest. But you know that doesn't mean that it's not good. The music, when the music is good, no matter what kind of music it is.
Is the track, but does it fit in a trance set? Can it fit?
Last year at the 6-hour set in Los Angeles, I played a Cosmic Gate track. It was Hello, the name of the track. Hello was, yes.
H-A-L-O.
Hello. Yeah. Like the video game.
yeah.
And that track is trance, 100%.
Okay. So, I mean, I think they are, but they're
No,
more...
I heard them recently on Marcelo Trance.
But my point being is that was the closest thing we had to trance. My point, but they were on the bill with W&W yesterday, which made absolutely no sense because
Are they trance?
no.
Okay.
So that's my point. So a lot of us that were, obviously,
But they sell stickers.
yeah, that's why they did it. So that's the reason I'm bringing it up is because it was what could make them money. And in the long run, it was really a small show yesterday for what the pool parties are usually.
That's what I was gonna say. Like my next comment was gonna be like as big as W&W is. I don't think that it's that big that a promoter in a random city can be like, we're gonna book you at a pool party and shit's gonna sell out. I don't think W&W is that big personally. I love them.
They are
talented as fuck,
they
but
are.
not to come out
in the
to
trance
Phoenix.
scene.
Not to come out to Phoenix.
But they are in Vegas. They are EDC all the time.
You can show up. Carlos could show up to Vegas. You can show up to Vegas, and the club's going to sell out no matter what in Vegas.
Yeah, if I go in Vegas,
It
I'm
doesn't matter.
going gambling all the time. So
Does not matter.
no time for playing here. No.
Doesn't matter though. It's just interesting to me, like what she just said, that like we have W&W packaged with Cosmic Gate.
Well, that's because 2 years ago, Cosmic Gate was on the
And
bill
it wasn't that
by
busy.
themselves, and it didn't sell like one of the others. But there were still a lot of us there. But, I mean, to the promoter, it was like, oh, it's not as big as a Cascade or a Tiesto that they're bringing in. You know what I mean?
Not even-
He was,
even-
Cascade was here Memorial Day weekend, and it was...
Here in the States, it's
Yeah.
God, something like this.
I
Yeah.
don't know how or what, but damn.
Cascade.
He's like...
He's like a god here in the States.
He's huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
All right, well, we're coming up on an hour, and I don't want to keep harping on all stuff, but it was great to talk to you guys, and I'm glad you guys were
You
able
can
to
never
do it.
get the full discussion out.
I know.
Oh yeah.
We go like 3 hours.
Yeah, I know, but,
We start talking like this morning is not to be an asshole.
God damn it. Where's Daniel at? We need to get Daniel in here.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Oh, the guy.
Oh no! Oh my God! I guarantee.
All right, well, I usually like to end on kind of plugging what you want to plug, like your websites, your SoundCloud, your social, so people will follow, the new listeners will follow, and keep up with you guys. So whoever wants to go first. Man, you want to go first?
What about what?
What do you want to plug? Your social? I mean, I know I follow all you guys, so.
Ah, you go. Okay. No, you first. I want to see what you say.
Carlitos, you first.
No,
I honestly, with all due respect, not being an asshole, I don't care if anyone follows me. I'm just here to have fun and talk about music and do all that.
yeah, but if they want to listen to your sets,
Where
can they
find you?
me, my name's Casey Rash, and you can Google it. CASEYRESCH. And
Are you on
just
SoundCloud?
go from, yeah, of course.
Damn, dude,
Okay.
you're big on Google.
yeah, they're good.
Google Chrome. See me on the Chrome.
All right, Carlos?
What's up? Carlos Ortega, Facebook.com, Facebook / DJ Carlos Ortega. From there, you will probably stem out to find all my other socials because I can't remember the links to them. But yeah, doing a couple shows. Hopefully doing another LA show this weekend.
Free ticket giveaways?
Sorry, I can't even give away shit to my own shows yet. Then probably giving out a couple freebies, stuff that I've been playing out the last year. That's I've been keeping privately, but now I've already had a good year about playing these stuff, so I'm just gonna give it away for free in like the coming months. So just keep your eyes posted on that. Other than that, still working on the productions. Have one that I'm really happy with coming out soon. We'll see where it lands on. Other than that, yeah, nothing else from me.
Cool. And Manny, we're here because of
me.
It's celebrating you. So.
If you wanna follow me on Facebook.com/ManuelLeso official. Or SoundCloud.com Manuel Leso, Twitter Manuel Leso, Instagram Manuel Leso.
Okay.
The good thing on having a shitty name is that Google, you are the first one on the list. Only me has this shitty name, so it's not really hard to find me.
All right, great. Well, thanks, guys.